Hello, we're back with another vlog. I'm gonna also try to not cut in this one. It's just a new thing I'm trying. No cuts, because I'm just trying to streamline this process. I'm in a challenge to upload 30 uploads in 30 days. So yeah, we're just talking, shooting from the cuff. Today we're talking about cameras specifically, and the idea of carrying cameras versus having the one in your pocket that everyone has, your phone. And just my experience with that, because I work in video and I've always had a passion for video, and I have nice professional cameras that I've used for projects. But I also just don't really carry them all the time. And it's been a weird development with smartphones specifically in their cameras, because I would always argue that they're not really that close to DSLR cameras, and especially with video. Friends who would ask me, because they would ask me camera questions in the past, they would say, hey, I'm thinking of getting a point and shoot camera, or I'm thinking of doing this or whatever. And typically what I said a few years ago at least would be that, well, what are you trying to do? If you're just trying to take photos, just everyday casual photos, honestly, a smartphone can do a pretty good job these days. Uh, it's crazy that the cameras that are in our phones are miles better than any like personal little camera that I had back when I was a kid. So I would advise them for photos, but then video's always been like a separate thing, because it's like, yeah, cell phone videos don't look that great typically. And also the photos, depending on what you want. If you want a really long lens with like that compressed space, or you want that really blurry background uh, and shallow depth of field, then yes, sometimes you need a nicer camera, and nicer cameras can still provide those things. There's a ton of reason to get a nice camera still. I don't think smartphones have completely annihilated that industry by any means. But so while I would say to people, if you're just trying to casually take photos, then maybe you just use your smartphone. But if you need video, then there might be another use. However, in recent years, there's been so many developments with the video aspect of smartphones that it's been kind of crazy. And it's like, man, some of this stuff looks really good, and they can shoot at 4K, and they can shoot sometimes at 8K, and you get some nice shallow depth of field, and it's just they've leveled up a lot. And I don't think they're as good as a proper camera in either respect, but the form factor of it being on you all the time and always fitting in your pocket is definitely a factor, where it's like, gosh, man, I have a young son. It's not young son. I am getting tangled over my words. I apologize. I have a young son, and it's just, I feel like carrying a whole nother camera, unless it's like a birthday party. I did that for a birthday party, but on the regular, just, I don't want to carry extra stuff along with all of his stuff in a stroller and all of that. And maybe some people out there do, but I, right now, it's just like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to grab my phone and I'm going to take a quick memory from that. So yeah, phones have definitely leveled up. But there's also this new wave, obviously, and this is getting into a new topic, a little bit of digital minimalism, where some people don't love that our phones do everything. Our phone does everything, so while you're trying to take a picture, you might get a notification, you might do this, the thing that does everything can be so distracting that sometimes it loses its meaning. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are warring against that, and they're actually going back to having a separate camera. I'm going to have a dumb phone, and I'm going to have a camera that is just a camera. And yes, it is a bit more inconvenient. That's the smartphone is packaged as convenience, but does that always mean better? Not necessarily. If you're trying to be intentional with your photo taking, with your videos, then having a separate camera might be the better answer. And there's plenty of options that aren't giant. Some of my cameras are a little bit bigger, but there are a ton of options that aren't giant that are really nice. And when I do use a camera, it is really nice. It's like, that's all it's doing. It's taking pictures, it's taking videos. It has like one purpose, and it's not trying to give me ads or pop-ups or notifications or anything like that. So it's definitely an interesting thing, because I can totally see where people land in both camps, where, hey, smartphones are getting so good that I'm going to use that for a lot of things. However, maybe you need certain tools that a nice camera does, or you just want the intentionality of a nice camera. So yeah, that's I'm just talking it out. I'm just talking it out. That's the name of the channel. So let me know what your thoughts are. Do you use your smartphone for everything? Do you just find that to be a suitable camera for all of your needs? Do you have a separate camera for a specific technical reason, or is it more of the intentionality thing? Just curious how you handle that. But that's all I've got for this one. Thank you for your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.